So here's a question for you. Can watching those, endless short videos on your phone actually help pay the bills?
Or even just meaningfully contribute to your budget.
Exactly. That's the question we're tackling today in our deep dive, and we're zeroing in on a specific app called tickcash.
It's one of these platforms that promises entertainment plus tangible rewards.
And a lot of people were intrigued. The initial install numbers were huge. Millions downloaded it based on that simple idea.
So our mission today is to really get into the mechanics of these apps. We want to understand how a platform like this positions video browsing as an earning opportunity.
And why it works so well to get people to sign up so fast.
Right. But more importantly, we need to see how that promise holds up in reality, once you actually start clicking.
Okay, so the appeal was clear. Watch videos, earn cash. Minimal effort. That led to that huge surge in downloads you mentioned.
It did.
But let's get right to the performance. What did the independent reviews and the analyses find when they actually tested it?
Well, this is where the whole story, starts to shift. The sources we looked at detail what critics often call a bait and switch.
A bait and switch. How so?
The first dollar or so might come pretty quickly, but then the withdrawal requirements become what we'd call opaque.
Meaning the rules just aren't clear.
Exactly. They seem to change constantly. And that final hurdle, the withdrawal threshold, it gets exponentially harder to reach. It requires a massive amount of ad watching just to even try and get your rewards.
It sounds deliberately designed to be a hurdle, a classic failure point.
It is.
So let's talk about the economics behind that.
Yeah.
I mean, what about things like data collection or this idea of time for minimal pay economics?
That's the real core of it. If you connect the dots, the sources highlight a pretty disturbing reality about the time you have to invest.
Okay.
We found one reviewer who did the math. They calculated that to get a modest $10 withdrawal, it could require upwards of 40 hours.
40 hours of just watching videos and clicking ads.
Nonstop. That is the very definition of time for minimal pay economics. It's a huge investment of your personal time for almost no financial return.
And what about the data side of it?
Well, that's the other thing. Those unclear privacy policies mean you're often granting really broad permissions for them to track your viewing habits.
Wait, even outside the app itself?
Yes. And then that data can be bundled and sold to third-party ad brokers.
Wow. So you mentioned inconsistent reliability earlier. Is that just a flaw in the system, or is it part of the design?
It seems to be just an inherent part of the model. And what's fascinating is that the user evidence is really contradictory.
How so?
Some users do report positive experiences. They've successfully withdrawn some funds. One said, small and consistent payouts are possible if you grind the app.
If you grind the app.
Right.
Yeah.
But the bigger picture is that payout reliability is just highly inconsistent. It depends on your region, the ad offers available, things completely out of your control.
So it's not a sure thing at all.
Not at all. One user review described it perfectly. They said it feels less like entertainment and more like being a digital coal miner, just for pocket change.
Okay, so let's pull all this together. For someone listening who might be thinking about downloading this, what's the simple list of pros and cons?
The pros are pretty straightforward. You get an entertaining video feed, sure, and if you have incredible patience, you might see some small rewards.
Yeah, the cons.
The cons are substantial. Extremely low payouts for your time, heavy ad exposure, those unclear data policies we talked about, and just really unreliable payout consistency.
So based on all the sources, what's the final verdict?
Well, the app isn't generally described as a scam in the sense that it's going to steal your money directly.
Yeah.
But it is definitively not a realistic source of side income. You're trading a huge amount of your attention for, a tiny fraction of a dollar.
Which brings us to the consumer caution part of this. What's the key takeaway?
You have to treat any earnings as pin money. I mean, it might be enough for a coffee once in a while, but that's it. It's not income.
And be careful with your information.
Absolutely. Be extremely cautious about sharing any financial or personal info with apps that are structured like this.
So this all raises a really important question for you, the listener. When an app offers entertainment, plus these tiny rewards in exchange for all your data and ad exposure, are you the consumer?
Or are you actually the product?
Exactly.
And that's the final thought to consider, the hidden value exchange. When we engage with these platforms that monetize our attention for almost nothing, we have to realize the cost of free entertainment. It's our time and our data. That is the real transaction here.